The Military Order of Christ, previously the Order of the Knights of Our Lord Jesus Christ, was the former Knights Templar order as it was reconstituted in Portugal after the Templars were abolished on the 22nd of March 1312 by the papal bull, Vox in excelso, issued by Pope Clement V. The Order of Christ was founded in 1319, with the protection of the Portuguese king, Denis I, who refused to pursue and persecute the former knights as had occurred in all the other sovereign states under the political influence of the Catholic Church, heavily swayed by Philip IV of France. Pope Clement had the Knights Templar annihilated throughout France and most of Europe on charges of heresy, but Denis revived the Templars of Tomar as the Order of Christ, largely for their aid during the Reconquista and in the reconstruction of Portugal after the wars. Denis negotiated with Clement's successor, John XXII, for recognition of the new order and its right to inherit the Templar assets and property. There exists also a parallel Supreme Order of Christ of the Holy See. History. The order's origins lie in the Knights Templar, founded circa 1118. The Templars were persecuted by the King of France and eventually disbanded by the Pope in 1312. King Denis I of Portugal created the Order of Christ in 1317 for those knights who survived the mass slaughter throughout Europe. In Portugal, the Order of Christ accumulated great riches and power during the Age of Discoveries. In 1789, Queen Maria I of Portugal secularized the order. In 1910, with the end of the Portuguese monarchy, the order was extinguished. However, in 1917, the order was revived, with its Grand Master to be the President of Portugal. The Military Order of Christ, together with the military orders of V.The and of St. James of the Sword, formed the group of the ancient military orders, governed by a chancellor and a council of 8 members, and appointed by the President of the Republic to assist him as Grand Master in all the order's administrative matters. The order can be conferred for outstanding services to the Republic on military officers and, despite its name, on civilians and on members of Parliament or other branches of government, the diplomatic corps, the courts of justice, the civil service, and other public authorities. Grades and badges. The Order of Christ, as awarded by the Portuguese government today, comes in 5 classes. Grand Cross, which wears the badge of the order on a sash on the right shoulder, and the Star of the Order in gold on the left chest. Grand Officer, which wears the badge of the order on a necklet, and the Star of the Order in gold on the left chest. Commander, which wears the badge of the order on a necklet, and the Star of the Order in silver on the left chest. Officer, which wears the badge of the order on a ribbon with rosette on the left chest. Knight Dame, which wears the badge of the order on a plain ribbon on the left chest. Insignia. The badge of the order is a gilt cross with enamel, similar to the order's emblem illustrated here, but with a longer lower arm. During the monarchy there were separate badges for civil and military knights. Civil knights wore a badge similar to the modern version, but with the Sacred Heart of Christ above it. Military knights had a completely different insignia, this being a gilt, white enameled Maltese cross with enameled oval shields between the arms of the cross, the whole surrounded by a wreath of palm. The central disc was in white enamel, with a miniature of the modern badge in it. The badge was topped by a gilt crown. The Star of the Order has 22 asymmetrical arms of raised in gilt for Grand Cross and Grand Officer, and in silver for Commander. The central disc is in white enamel, with a miniature of the modern badge in it. During the monarchy the Sacred Heart of Christ was placed at the top of the star. The ribbon of the order is plain red. People associated with the Order of Christ: the Vasco da Gama, Pedro Alvarez Cabral, Henry the Navigator, João Goncalves Zarco, Gonçalo Velo Cabral, Infante Ferdinand, Bartolomeu Diaz, D. Beatrice, Manuel I, Francisco de Almeida, Miguel Corte-Real, Gaspar Corte-Real, Tristão da Cunha, Martim Afonso de Sousa, João de Castro, Cristóvão da Gama, Tomé de Sousa, Fernando Magalhães, also known as Ferdinand Magellan, Vicente Sodré, Damião de Gois, Sebastian of Portugal, Pedro Teixeira, Alexandre de Gusmão, Alexandre Rodrigues Ferreira, Enrique Diaz, Antonio Felipe Camarero, Joachim Ratin, Albert Coyet, Luis Nicolas Davout, Jean-Baptiste Bessières. Locations associated with the Order of Christ: Convento de Cristo, Belém Tower, Castle of Almorol, Castle of Monsanto, Castle of Castelo Branco, Sagres. Entities using the cross of the order in their insignia: Clube de Futebol Os Belenenses, Futebol Clube Cesarense, Madeira, National Corps of Scouts, Portuguese Catholic Scouting, Olympic Committee of Portugal, Portuguese Air Force, Portuguese Athletic Federation, Portuguese Football Federation, Portuguese Roller Sports Federation. Bibliography: Guimarães J. Vieira, A Ordem de Cristo, Lisboa I.